Okay guys, we're back and today we're going to be installing a sunstrip to the car because as I said in the last video, I think it was the video before that, the one I had on the car was pretty shit. So I'm going to be installing another one today, and we're going to start off with, get yourself a tape measure and some masking tape, or I'd probably say masking tape because it might leave a sticky residue on your car, whereas masking tape don't. So if you get a tape measure, what the first thing you want to do is you want to measure from the top of the window down on the side, on both sides, and make sure it's the same measurement, because that's going to be your marking for when you put the sunstrip down. And I'll do that now and I'll get back to you once I've done so. As you can see, I've cleaned the window first. Obviously you don't want any shit on there, and excuse my language. And what I've done is I've measured from this point here down to here, and I've got 10.5 inches on both sides, and that's basically where the bottom of the sunstrip's going to sit, and it'll be straight line across if you've got both sides done properly. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the sunstrip. We're going to soak the window with soapy water on the back of the sunstrip, and then we're going to place it down. I'm not going to be able to talk for this next bit, but I'll try and show you roughly what I'm doing. Okay, I've put water on the window and the back, and I've just lightly stuck in. You should be able to move it up and down. You want to get it to sit on the bottom of the masking tape. Same with that side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the whole sunstrip with water, use a squeegee and a cloth, and slowly push all the water out. I'm just spraying the surface with water just so I don't mark the vinyl, and I'm slowly pushing all the water out as I go along, making sure I try not to move the sunstrip too much. You want to make sure you just work in one way, because if you work to the middle you end up with a crease down the centre. And I'll get back to you once I've stuck it down. Okay, now once you've got it roughly stuck down, it's still going to be wet, so you can squeegee as much of the water out as you can. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a heat gun. I wouldn't recommend using a heat gun, but if you're struggling to get it to stick, then use it. And what I'm going to do to start off with, I'm going to get obviously the cloth on the squeegee. I'm going to soak this just so obviously I don't damage anything. And I'm going to gently apply heat, working my way down and out on all the ends, trying not to put too much pressure on to obviously crease the sunstrip. So I'll show you a little bit now, and then once I've shown you a little bit, I'll do the rest off camera, and then I'll show you what it's like when you cut it down. Also, be careful not to put too much heat in one area because you'll burn the vinyl. If you start seeing it bubbling up, that's okay, they should just push out, but be careful not to put too much pressure to crease the bubbles. See, it's all down. Obviously there's some bits which are still risen, but I'm going to push that back down once I've finished cutting it. What I did was I got the heat gun and obviously the bit of plastic, I forgot the name of it now, that I just heated up here, squeegee sorry, and I've just pushed into the groove a little bit, so that gives me the line where I need to cut. I'd recommend using a fresh Stanley blade because you do not want this to snag, otherwise it'll rip the thing. And all you're going to do is basically follow the line all the way around ever so carefully, all the way around, and I'll get back to you, or I'll time lapse me doing that now. Okay, as you can see here, we've finished off cutting it down, and now what we're going to do is do the final little bit. Just get the heat gun again, heat up and push all the edges and try and tuck them under. You may need to trim a little bit more on the corners, because obviously it's quite tricky to cut there when you've got a wad of vinyl here, but that's going to be the last stage, and then it should be all finished. I'll time lapse this bit again, and I'll get back to you once it's fully down. If there's any areas that need trimming, I think I need to trim a little bit more up here. I have to go over to the other side of the car. I think I need to trim just these little rough edges here, and then once I've done that, that should be the sun strip stuck down. I'll get back to you once I've just trimmed these edges off. Okay, excuse the engine oil, I've got the heaters on and the heated windshield on just to help with the drying process. That's all of it all stuck down now, and it should be good to go. I'd probably recommend leaving it for 2 or 3 hours before you drive, just to help with the drying process, because you don't want to come out your little street stroke neighbourhood and it come flying off, which they can do if it's not stuck down properly. But I've got the Ford Performance one that's in the centre. I've gone with the gloss black sun strip with the grey, sorry not grey, black, matte black writing on it. And I didn't forget to mention, if you've got writing on it, when you're getting it to the right position, make sure that it's in the centre as well, or where the writing is where you want it, because you wouldn't want to stick it down, come to it and you find out that the writing's not in the middle or in the right location for yourself. But I hope this has helped you out today. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos on this car, on the installs. And that's it today, guys. I hope you have a good New Year's, and I'll catch you soon.